of putting your country back on track again, so you can have what you used to have 20, 30 and 40 years ago. You guys had a great life and everybody wanted it. How anybody can say that this woman is more qualified? Yes, she's more qualified at lying, she's more qualified at cheating, she's more qualified at killing people who get in the way. Is this what you want for a president? Your country was founded on truth, and you wanted a better life. That your forefathers set out in the Constitution, every man had the right to bear arms in case crap happened again. You're going to lose all that if she gets in power. Watch this video and please do the right thing on the day. Just get out there and place your vote. You are in charge of your country, not Clinton's. Get out and vote. Watch this video.
Director Comey, Secretary Clinton said she never sent or received any classified information over her private email. Was that true?
Our investigation found that there was classified information sent.
So it was not true?
Right. That's what I said.
Okay. Well, I'm looking for a little shorter answer, so you and I are not here quite as long. Secretary Clinton said there was nothing marked classified on her emails, either sent or received. Was that true?
That's not true.
Secretary Clinton said, I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email. There is no classified material. Was that true?
No, there was classified material emailed.
Secretary Clinton said she used just one device. Was that true?
She used multiple devices during the 4 years of her term as Secretary of State.
Secretary Clinton said all work-related emails were returned to the State Department. Was that true?
No, we found work-related emails, thousands, that were not returned.
Secretary Clinton said neither she nor anyone else deleted work-related emails from her personal account. Was that true?
We found traces of work-related emails on devices or in Slack space, whether they were deleted or whether when a server was changed out, something happened to them. There's no doubt that there were work-related emails that were removed electronically from the email system.
Secretary Clinton said her lawyers read every one of the emails and were overly inclusive. Did her lawyers read the email content individually?
No.
False exculpatory statements, they are used for what?
Well, either for a substantive prosecution or for evidence of intent in a criminal prosecution.
Exactly. Intent and consciousness of guilt, right? Is that right?
Right.
Consciousness of guilt and intent. 2 days ago, Director, you said a reasonable person in her position should have known a private email was no place to send and receive classified information. You're right. An average person does know not to do that. This is no average person. This is a former First Lady, a former United States Senator, and a former Secretary of State that the President now contends is the most competent, qualified person to be president since Jefferson. She affirmatively rejected efforts to give her a state.gov account. She kept these private emails for almost 2 years and only turned them over to Congress because we found out she had a private email account. There's nothing to keep a future Secretary of State or President from this exact same email scheme or their staff. And my real fear is this. It's what the chairman touched upon. This double-track justice system that is rightly or wrongly perceived in this country. That if you are a private in the Army and you email yourself classified information, you will be kicked out. But if you are Hillary Clinton and you seek a promotion to Commander-in-Chief, you will not be.
I really don't care what you all say about me. It doesn't bother me a bit. You will be getting, and in fact the entire world will be getting, all of my emails because they're all going to be public and you will be able to read them along with everybody else.
My question was whether or not the previous congressional committees and ARB had access to your emails. That was my question.
90 to 95% of my work-related emails were in the state system. If they wanted to see them, they would certainly have been able to do so. You know what?
That is maybe the 10th time you have cited that figure today.
It is.
And I have not heard anyone other than you ever cite that figure. Who told you that 90 to 95% of your emails were on the state were in the State Department system. Who told you that?
We learned that from the State Department.
Can you
but they
provide
already-
me,
they
can you
already
provide
had
me
it.
with a name? Because when I asked the State Department about 10 days ago, what's the source of that figure? They shrugged their shoulders. The Inspector General report found that less than 1% of State Department emails, record emails, were captured. So they give a number of less than 1%, and you give a number of 90%.
You didn't mention a video because there was never a video-inspired protest in Benghazi. There was in Cairo, but not in Benghazi. Victoria Nuland, your spokesperson at the State Department, hours after the attack said this: Benghazi has been attacked by militants. In Cairo, police have removed demonstrators. Benghazi, you got weapons and explosions. Cairo, you got spray paint and rocks. 1 hour before the attack in Benghazi, Chris Stevens walks the diplomat to the front gate. The ambassador didn't report a demonstration. He didn't report it because it never happened.
So all I
There
can
was
say
not
is
conflicting.
nobody.
There was not conflicting information the day of the attack because your press secretary said, if pressed, there's no connection between Cairo and Benghazi. It was clear. You're the ones who muddied it up, not the information.
Well, there's no connection.
Here's what I think's going on. Here's what I think's going on. Let me show you one more slide. Again, this is from Victoria Nuland, your press person. She says to Jake Sullivan and Philippe Reines, subject line reads this: Romney's statement on Libya. Email says, this is what Ben was talking about. I assume Ben is the now somewhat famous Ben Rhodes, author of the Talking Points memo. This email is at 10:35, 27 minutes after your 10:08 statement. 27 minutes after you've told everyone it's a video. While Americans are still fighting because the attack's still going on, your top people are talking politics. Seems to me that night you had three options, Secretary. You could tell the truth, like you did with your family, like you did with the Libyan president, like you did with the Egyptian prime minister. Tell them it was a terrorist attack. You could say, you know what, we're not quite sure. Don't really know for sure. I don't think the evidence is there. I think it's all in the first one, but you could have done that. But you picked a third option. You picked the video narrative. You picked the one with no evidence, and you did it because Libya was supposed to be, as Mr. Roskin pointed out, this great success story for the Obama White House and the Clinton State Department. And a key campaign theme that year was GM's alive, bin Laden's dead, Al-Qaeda's on the run. And now you have a terrorist attack. And it's a terrorist attack in Libya. And it's just 56 days before an election. You can live with a protest about a video. That won't hurt you. But a terrorist attack will. So you can't be square with the American people. You can tell your family it's a terrorist attack, but not the American people. You can tell the president of Libya it's a terrorist attack, but not the American people. And you can tell the Egyptian prime minister it's a terrorist attack, but you can't tell your own people the truth. Madam Secretary, Americans can live with the fact that good people sometimes give their lives for this country. They don't like it. They mourn for those families. They pray for those families. But they can live with it. But what they can't take, what they can't live with, is when their government's not square with them.
Well, let's talk about your work-related emails. We asked for them last year, and the State Department gave us 8. If they had 90% of yours, why did we only get 8?
Did Hillary Clinton receive treatment that was different than others?
She received no treatment different from any other.
The meeting on the tarmac with former President Clinton, that was a pretty fortuitous meeting for you, wasn't it?
I would not say that.
Well, it gave you a perfect alibi, because if you had recused yourself, as some have suggested at the outset of this investigation, because you're friends with the Clintons and maybe hope to be Attorney General in her administration, then you wouldn't have, then you could stand here and say, I defer to the FBI director. But you didn't recuse yourself, but now you're using the meeting on the tarmac to basically say, to avoid the appearance of impropriety, I can't answer your question. I asked my staff to count the number of times today you would say, I can't answer that question, or refuse to give an appropriate response. It's happened 74 times so far. So really, it's either one of two things. Either you're saying that because you want to avoid the appearance of impropriety, in which case you should have recused yourself, or you're trying to protect Hillary Clinton. So my colleague, Mr. Smith, asked earlier if you had talked with Bill or Hillary about serving as Attorney General in Hillary's administration. Have you talked to any of their staff?
No, I have not.
Have you talked to anyone on their transition team? I know they're talking to people.
I have not spoken to anyone on either the campaign or transition or any staff members affiliated with them.
Do you want to be Attorney General?
My focus is on being the Attorney General throughout the remainder of this administration and dealing with the issues that I've discussed here, particularly my focus on law enforcement and community relations and national security as represented by the Department's work in the most recent tragic actions facing this country. Also, my work involving vulnerable victims in human trafficking. My focus is on making sure that the resources and assets of the Department of Justice are dedicated towards those important goals, particularly when it comes to individuals who feel at odds or left out or somehow cut out of our society and therefore are in a situation where their relationship of trust with law enforcement and government.
Thank you, General. I'm going to reclaim my time. Why did you tell the FBI security detail not to have any cameras or phones when you met with President Clinton on the plane?